Hello and welcome to Kuchan Cracker Jacks. Today I'm going to show you how to make these awesome chocolate-covered strawberry roses for Valentine's Day. These are essentially chocolate-covered strawberries that have a kind of fondant-like chocolate modeling clay, if you will, applied to them so they look like roses, and your Valentine is sure to love to get a dozen of these for Valentine's Day. So let me show you how easy these are to make. I'm going to start off by making up my chocolate clay here. I've got a 24-ounce block of almond bark. You could also use white chocolate for this. I'm going to cut off 3 squares of this. It is a total of 6 ounces of almond bark. And I'm just going to chop this into pieces with a sharp knife. Now you can use any kind of chocolate that you want. Like I said, you could use real white chocolate for this. You could use dark chocolate, milk chocolate, semi-sweet chocolate. You could even use candy melts for this if you wanted to. But you're going to need 6 ounces of that chopped up fine. And then you want to place that into a medium-sized bowl and place that into your microwave and microwave it for 30 seconds. Give it a stir, microwave it for another 30 seconds, and then go ahead and give it a stir again. And ultimately you want to end up with a nice, smooth, velvety consistency in your chocolate. You don't want any lumps remaining at all. Then you want to go ahead and set that off to the side to cool just ever so slightly. While that is cooling, I've got 2 tablespoons of corn syrup here in a small bowl, and I'm going to go ahead and color this because I'm using the almond bark. If you're using candy melts, don't worry about that, just pick the color that you want. But if you use white chocolate or almond bark like I am here, you can color this any color that you want to. I'm going to do red. To start out, of course, always, whenever I color anything red, I'm going to start off by coloring it pink. So I've just put in 3 drops of a gel food coloring in pink, and I'm just going to stir that around until it's mixed up. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in my red food coloring. With this particular food coloring, I ended up using 5 drops of that. And again, you want to mix that up until it is nice and smooth and the coloring is consistent throughout the corn syrup. Now I know it looks really dark here, but you're adding this to a white chocolate. So that white chocolate is actually going to tame down the color quite a bit. So it's going to be a lot lighter than what you see here when everything is all said and done. Now I'm going to take my corn syrup and food coloring mixture, and I'm going to go ahead and add that into my almond bark here, and be sure and get as much of that colored corn syrup out as you can. And now you want to mix this together. Be careful here. You just want to fold this together. You're going to be very gentle with this. If you stir too vigorously, it's going to end up breaking on you, and you're going to end up with a greasy, oily mess. Not what you want at all. So just slowly incorporate that corn syrup into the white chocolate, being sure to scrape down the sides of the bowl and get down to the bottom. You want to stir this the least amount possible. And you'll see here that it actually thickens up on you, and that's exactly what you want. It kind of curdles, if you will. It comes together into like this rough paste. But go ahead and turn that out onto a piece of waxed paper, and using the back of your spoon, you want to smooth this out a little bit on top. Kind of thin it out so it has an easier time drying. Then you want to put this on a plate and put it into your refrigerator and let this dry out for between 4 and 6 hours. After 4 to 6 hours, you can go ahead and take it out of the refrigerator, let it come up to room temperature. You can see here that it's still kind of hard, even at room temp. But you want to break off a piece here, and you want to start kneading this. You want to start making it pliable and malleable so we can start forming it into rose petals. Now it's really tough when you first start out here. You'll see this line of white along the edge. That's some of the solids that has oozed out of the mixture. You want to mix all that into the clay until everything is perfectly smooth. Now this will take a couple minutes, but just go ahead and keep working at it, folding it over on itself and over on itself, and just work with it until it gets up to your body temp, and it'll smooth out and be nice and easy to work with. You can see here the difference between the stuff ready to use and the stuff that just came out of the fridge. Now I'm going to need stems for my roses here, so I've just got some wooden dowels here that I had laying around. You could also use skewers or chopsticks for this. Now I want these to be green like a real rose, so I'm going to take some floral tape here, and starting at one end, I'm just going to wind this around the dowel. If you're using floral tape, kind of pull on it gently so it doesn't break like it just did here on me. And that will actually activate the adhesive in the floral tape so it sticks to itself. But just go ahead and wind that down on the dowels. This is completely optional. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Now for my strawberries, I went ahead and chose strawberries that have a nice green top on them. So what you want to do is grab the tops here, and at the base just gently twist it off. And when you do that, you should have a hole in the center here where the leaves have actually come off of the strawberry stem. Go ahead and set those off to the side because we're actually going to use those as the sepals of our roses to give our roses a more lifelike appearance. And then using a sharp knife, go ahead and core out the center of your strawberry. And you want to do this with as many strawberries as you are going to have roses. Now I took some additional almond bark here and put it into a small bowl and melted that until it was nice and smooth. And I'm going to take my wooden dowel here and I'm going to dip the very end of it in, and I'm going to push that into my strawberry and up towards the top point of the strawberry. If your strawberries are nice and cold, that chocolate will actually set up and hold your berry onto the end of the skewer. And then you want to dip your strawberry into the white chocolate and get a nice even coating of that chocolate all over your strawberry. If you need to, go ahead and use a spoon. Be sure and get that coating all the way up and over the dowel, so that way it glues everything into place. Shake off the excess and then go ahead and stick this into a piece of styrofoam or cardboard box or even a vase if you want to, and leave this standing upright to dry completely, and go through and do that with all of your strawberries. And now we can actually start turning our strawberries into roses. I've got my clay here. It is nice and warmed up and nice and soft and pliable. I'm going to pinch off about a pea-sized piece or so, maybe a little bit bigger than a pea. I'm going to roll that into a ball, and I'm using my thumb and forefinger. I'm going to press that flat. And then I'm going to go around the edges, and I'm going to work this into just a general petal shape. Doesn't have to be perfectly round. It doesn't have to be perfectly flat. Get it in a round enough shape. You just want to make sure that the edges of your petals are nice and thin. Get them as thin as you possibly can. It doesn't matter if they're wavy either. Real rose petals are wavy, so don't worry about that part. Just go through and you want to end up with a total of 9 petals. Now you want to take your first petal here and place it onto your strawberry, making sure the top edge of the petal is above the point of the strawberry. Go ahead and press that on. The nice thing about this clay is it actually sticks to itself, so all you have to do is just gently press it and it sticks to the strawberry. And the second petal you want to place on directly opposite of the first petal. Go ahead and press that down with your finger. Make sure it's nice and secure onto the strawberry. Now with the remaining petals, you want to overlap the petal that you put on previously, just like maybe a quarter of the petal or so. And again, press the bottom of the petals towards the base of the strawberry. That's where you want to be pressing your petal, making sure that it is nice and attached. And as you go through here and do these petals, you want to take the top edges and kind of curl them out. And you just want to keep doing this, going all the way around the strawberry. You'll actually end up going around the strawberry a few times depending on how big you made your petals. Now, some roses will not use all 9 petals. Some might only use 7. Others might use 11. So generally speaking though, 9 petals looks the nicest and is enough to go all the way around the rose twice. So just go ahead and use your best judgment to see how many petals that your roses look best with. Then you want to finish this off by covering up the bottom. You want to take some more of your clay here, your chocolate clay, and just gently press this around the bottom of your rose, making sure to cover all of the white that you used to dip that strawberry. Go ahead and smooth that out with your thumb or your finger. Make it look as nice as you can. It does not have to be perfect here because we're going to end up covering this with the green parts from the strawberry. Then you're going to take that green part from the strawberry that you saved behind, and you want to place your dowel into the center hole of that and slide it up. And then you want to gently press this onto the bottom of your rose, and that'll act as like the sepal part of the rose flower. Then you want to place this back into your styrofoam, put it into the refrigerator to let everything firm up and make sure that your strawberries don't break down on you. Then you can wrap them up in tissue paper. You can place these into a vase, present them however you wish to your Valentine. And there you go. That is how you make chocolate-covered strawberry roses for Valentine's Day. Now, what Valentine would not love getting a dozen of these for Valentine's Day? So if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Subscribe for more deliciousness and to keep up to date on all my latest videos. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.